Developers are walking away from Toronto condo projects. And this is a full shift in the condo market, and it's hitting from every direction.
We have to stop all this construction.
Right now, you've got resale prices falling, rent is falling, and investors are getting wrecked on assignments as appraisals are coming in too low. And now there are buyers stuck with deposits in limbo for years as well. In this video, I'm going to explain why developers are abandoning projects, what it means for those condo buyers that are stuck in transactions, and how this impacts Toronto real estate in 2026 and beyond. And I'm also going to tell you something blunt. If you're thinking of buying pre-construction in Toronto right now, don't.
You don't buy them.
Let's define what I mean when I say developers are abandoning projects. So sometimes they are canceling before even trying to sell, so they're just not even listing it. Sometimes they are hitting pause and canceling the project once they realize they only sold 5 or 10% of the stock. And sometimes right now they're pretty much thinking about relaunching later on and they're just gonna leave it undeveloped. But the point is the same. They're not moving forward. And here's why. It's because the condo market in Toronto has been powered by one thing for so many years, and that is future appreciation. People weren't ever buying based on today's value. They were buying based on the idea that the condo would be worth way more later. And that belief is now collapsing, and with it, the pre-construction market. Now, the biggest issue is that resale condo prices are much lower. So buyers are looking at pre-construction pricing, and they're saying, why would I buy at $1,350 or $1,600 per square foot in Toronto, while projects outside the core, they're also still very high at $1,100 and $1,250 for new. But the resale is trading at, sometimes you can get it for $700 to $800 right now. And these new condos, right, they're on tighter footprints for the buildings. They aren't built with innovative layouts or game-changing appliances, right? They're four walls, appliances, and electrical, right? And
new is always better, right?
You don't necessarily need a new unit. So developers, they can't sell the units at the prices they want. And if they can't sell enough units to hit their financing requirements, well, the entire project becomes shaky. And once you understand that, you understand the entire problem that is happening in the GTA market, because everything flows from that one truth, and that's that pre-construction pricing doesn't match market value at all. By the way, if you're new here, I'm Carl. My team and I, we have helped over 300 clients buy or sell across the GTA. Every buyer of ours gets a home warranty that gives you coverage up to $15,000 if a home system or appliance needs fixing or replacing. And if you contact us in January, doesn't matter when you buy, but if you work with us and reach out, we will give you a move-in cleaning service on top of the home warranty, all for free. Just trying to make it a no-brainer for you to want to work with us. Now, let's talk about reason 2 that the pre-construction is having so many issues, and it's that the appraisal risk is huge. So if you buy a condo, right, many people assume if I buy a condo at this price, I'll be able to get a mortgage later. Well, not always, because when a unit completes, the bank will appraise it based on today's market value. And if the market value drops, that appraisal comes in low. Now, you need to come up with more money out of your pocket to cover that gap. So in the current crisis we are in for pre-construction properties, let's say somebody bought a 800,000, 450 square foot unit with no parking. These are real stories. And now it appraises at 400,000, right? So they bought it for 800, now it's worth 400,000. That's a $400,000 gap. But that's not the bank's problem, right? That's your problem. And that is one of the main reasons investors are panicking, because the gap for a lot of owners right now is several hundred thousand on units coming to market in 2026 that close. And so the banks, they are trying to manipulate their own rules to help developments register and close by giving blanket appraisals. It's a giant mess. If you watch my assignment disaster video a few weeks ago, you can get a better understanding of this. And this whole problem is originated because back in the booming years, investors always bought pre-construction and they always assumed, I will just assign it before closing, right? Meaning they can sell the contract to someone else. They don't even need to get a mortgage. But today, Assignments are proving nearly impossible. People are paying to get out of their assignments, and even then, no one's taking them because no one's willing to overpay. Now, active investors that typically bought condos as well, I don't know if they're getting back into pre-construction anytime soon because they likely just got wrecked, right? They're the ones that are going to be losing hundreds of thousands of dollars in these closed units. So they either just got wrecked or they're about to. And this is a problem because investors used to buy so many units in each development, right? You would have preferred clients of developers where they would get first access and they'd be able to buy 5 units. And so had they been doing this when the market was booming, which they likely had because they made a bunch of money, they're probably getting wrecked now. And now they're stepping away. Another issue too with pre-construction is the rents are falling. And so the rent world with regards to Toronto condos and value, it has a lot to do with the prices. Because if your mortgage is high and your rent is falling, when it comes time to rent it out, that gap is going to kill investors, right? It also hurts demand for new units because people can't justify the purchase anymore. So developers looking at this and they're realizing it's not smart to get into pre-construction this year at all. But before I get into immigration impacting things, if you like this content and find it valuable, please give the video a like and subscribe. It really helps me out. I appreciate it. So, immigration stalled, student population shrinking, right? Toronto condos were heavily supported by immigration growth, even international students in certain pockets downtown. And it created rental demand pressure, right? And so right now we're hearing that immigration is at a standstill, right? Compared to what it was. And we know that they're lowering the numbers of international students, which is having a rippling effect on many universities and colleges. And also regions around them, right? So the constant demand for condos is certainly getting much weaker. And because of that, prices are softening, rents are softening, and pre-con becomes really difficult to justify. I think also the economy, right? The unemployment, the trade war, this also is impacting the pre-construction market. People are, if they have cash, they're likely to hold it. Due to uncertainty, right? So nobody's signing up for a gamble like a pre-construction would be right now. Another thing too is the reason why the downfall of pre-construction happening is the product is getting worse, right? A lot of these units are tiny. A lot of them don't come with parking. The maintenance fees don't justify what you get, and the layouts are getting worse. You're asking buyers to pay top dollar for a bad product. In a failing market with increased risk for the future, it's not hard to see why buyers are saying no to pre-construction. And for some reason, the developers keep going smaller in unit size too, right? Do you think somebody wants to put down 15 to 20% of deposits for a 500,000, 285 square foot unit that's going to take 3 to 4 years to arrive, right? I don't know anyone who is excited to pay for a small jail cell. So developers are abandoning projects because pre-construction just doesn't work anymore. And the Toronto condo market, it's being forced to reprice itself back to reality. Till next time, thanks for watching.